Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zelick. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend of the show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Joey Ramone of the show.
And Evan Aubrey.
Oh, shit. The boys are back in
Nice.
town, huh?
Are you shaking
we're back
a carbonated
in town all
beverage?
separately.
We're back in town as in I'm
that's-
excited to be recording tonight. We're actually still
Okay.
physically all apart and not at all in
yeah.
the same town.
We're in the digital town square,
Yes.
Exactly.
known as Squadcast.
Exactly.
Ben, is that a carbonated beverage that you shook really hard, or is it just a watermelon drink?
It's my favorite watermelon drink.
I have a Raz Cranberry LaCroix because I thought it would be thematically appropriate for the Pokemon we're cooking tonight. Raz Cranberry, anybody?
Ah, yes. Get
Like-
razzed.
Anyway, Ian, Ian, what do you got hiding in that corner?
Polar.
Polar. Polar in the corner.
Nowhere.
Orange vanilla?
Orange vanilla. It's very
Nice.
It's like a creamsicle in a can. Evan, I saw you bring your can up.
Yeah, I got a Headlands Brewing Pilsner, but I also have, and I don't know whether or not I want to pick a bone with Big K, Special K, Mr. Kroger on this show.
Uh-oh.
But I have another drink that I obtained freely.
Big K means something different in other places, I'll just say. But
Does it really? Oh, shit.
Well, I don't know
a
about
Kroger.
big,
there we
but
go.
like, you know, yeah, Kroger
Well,
or
I think-
ketamine.
well,
Which one are we really talking
yes.
about here?
Oh, yeah.
But so what's your beef with Mr. Kroger?
And I just kind of came by this beverage. It didn't come upon me, but I
Evan was walking down an alley, and suddenly there was a beverage in front of him.
well, I mean, basically, but no. The Safeway over by my in-laws' place, like, remodeled their store and decided to call it a grand opening, and I was like, okay, that's dumb.
Okay.
But continue. And then apparently they gave Tori and my mother-in-law a bag of free groceries.
Oh hell
to
yeah!
anyone who goes in the store, which is like, cool, yeah, that's awesome, whatever. Give away free food to a super white wealthy neighborhood, like they're the ones who
Wow.
need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in this was also strawberry kiwi signature select sparkling water, so I'm
Oh.
interested to try that at least.
Wait, what was
No.
it? Kiwi?
Strawberry kiwi.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely does a flavor profile that I think works.
Sounds like a Capri
Yeah,
Sun.
it was just like it. Yeah, it kind of. I'm imagining Capri Sun a little less sweet, and yeah, if Capri Sun was like carbonated.
Would it be better if it was in a pouch?
Yes, 100%.
Do you think they don't put carbonated beverages in pouches because they would explode?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if they have the structural integrity. Though.
I don't know if they'd explode, but like when you stuck the straw in, it certainly would
So
like.
satisfying.
Yeah. I think that's why we have cans. TBH is to contain the pressure of a carbonated beverage. I think a pouch can't really. They just can't.
Yeah.
Now I am gonna say, if there was a Capri Sun pouch, but then it had the little tab to crack.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be so good.
So it's all loose except for the tab on the top.
Basically, like an aluminum pouch. Like if you
Yes.
took aluminum foil and turned it into a pouch.
It's you guys have like seen those water bladders where it's like soft, flimsy plastic, but then the cap is
Yeah.
obviously stiff. It'd be like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
see.
or like just like a foldable water bottle kind of situation.
Yeah.
But with,
But you want to pull tab on that, not just a lid that you could take on and off.
While we're talking about it, can we also get a liter of Capri Sun, but it comes in a liter pouch?
Oh yes, or like five gallon pouch or something.
Yes, but the straw is the same size.
Yeah.
or like I'm even thinking of like those like Game of Thrones like water pouches. Just fill it with Capri
Yes.
Sun.
Oh yeah. Or you could just buy like a Capri Sun bladder. Like you could go to like the REI and it's like, I need something for my Camelback, and they're like, we've got just the thing. And
big
they wheel out
pouch.
the Caprice big pouch. It's a bladder, and you like hook up a nozzle with a nipple to it and just get your Capri Sun that way.
That's honestly the best way to stay hydrated when you're backpacking.
Yes.
When I
Cook
go,
your
Sun.
food in a jet boil with some Capri Sun. Like,
Yeah.
that'll be
When I go to
Perfect.
Total Pouch, and I can't afford the like nice corked Capri Sun, sometimes I get a boxed Capri Sun. Just throw the bladder in there.
Right.
So I'm assuming Total Pouch is your alternate universe version of Total Wine.
Yes.
But is the difference not that they sell like alcohol? They just sell all pouched based beverages at Total Pouch. Okay.
And I will say,
Pouch.
much more respectful than Total Wines.
Yes.
Inherently much more respectful inside the Total Pouch.
I mean, Total Wine is like giant big box alcohol stores are kind of inherently disrespectful because they're like, oh, there's so much there's so much wine and it's stacked up on everything.
so much poison in there.
Did
Yes.
I miss this? Did we have a beef against Total Wine? Is Total Wine
Well,
disrespectful?
now.
I wouldn't then say like a beef, but it's a little disrespectful.
When you go to
Apparently.
Total Pouch, similar to Chick-fil-A, all the employees have to say "my pleasure" when they
Yes.
get you like the pouch from like the top shelf or whatever.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
But you know what? Unlike Chick-fil-A, where they're just like doing it because it's their job, fucking people at Total Pouch know it is their pleasure.
Yeah.
Because
Because they get
respect.
to touch those pouches all day.
They do get to fondle the pouches. They also
Yes.
get healthcare, dental,
Respect.
a living wage.
Do all these things are delivered to them in a pouch? Like they're like instead of getting like a check in the mail for their wages, it comes in a pouch.
Exactly. Right.
Healthcare in a pouch? I guess that's like
Yes.
IV bags.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I mean, that's why nurses and doctors are so respected because you go to the hospital and they like hook you up and it's
Yeah.
like kind of respect.
Blood
Put an
bag,
IV
IV bag.
Yeah, I mean,
Respect it.
there's actually a lot of ways that you can get nutrients from just pouches. It doesn't even have to be alcohol or drinks. It can just be like life-sustaining fluids. Actually, like
Talking about kangaroos.
Total
Yeah.
Pouch is like your one-stop shop for all fluids. Actually,
Yeah. There's like instead of having like the Costco food court, it's like an IV lounge.
I would absolutely partake.
Just IV up like a cup of coffee with some champagne.
any pouch you could possibly want.
Yeah.
Like any fucking pouch.
But they only sell pouches by the gallon.
Yeah.
Tell me if this
Costco.
is maybe I'm
Right.
going too far.
Should,
real- Throw me a
somebody
line.
have stopped you?
Yeah, throw me a line if I need to be reeled in.
Okay.
Pouch. All right, no. Let me take a bag
Okay.
with liquid in it. Pouch.
Yeah.
Bag with chips in it. Pouch.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there.
I think if it's a bag with liquid in it, I would consider it a pouch in most cases. If it's a bag with chips in it, it needs to be attached to something to become a pouch.
What?
Like, okay, so imagine.
I don't agree with that either.
you're like, okay, imagine you're like walking around, right, and you just have a bag in front of you of chips, right? That's not a pouch. This is a bag of chips. But imagine if that bag had a holster and it was strapped onto you, and you could just eat the chips without holding it. That's a pouch.
I've got it. Next, like, Hype Beast streetwear collab is like Supreme and Ruffles release a hoodie that is the hoodie like pocket pouch is just chips. You pop it open and there's just chips inside.
And
So-
the other side's dip.
So Jeremy, what you're presupposing is that there's a biological factor where if it is similar to like a kangaroo, it's a pouch.
Yes.
Okay,
Interesting.
I agree with that more. I'm starting to realize that our word for pouch is a little fluid. I mean, speaking of fluid, it's not a really hard and fast definition. Now that I think about
There's
it,
no binary.
there's no binary when
pouch
it
is-
comes to the pouch. Which
No.
Yeah,
pouch.
we're talking about the pouch spectrum.
And to put a straw in it, as it will, this does taste exactly like Capri Sun.
Let's
Holy
go.
shit, this is weird.
Sorry, Jeremy, did you say respectrum?
Yes, I did.
That's excellent.
I'm so
This
glad
is
you
not
said
what
that.
I was expecting from carbonated water. This is wild.
While we're talking about it, did you guys Did I already talk to you guys about how Capri Sun can have mold in it?
Oh yeah, that's why they have the clear bottoms. So you
Yeah.
can check the
Mold?
There's no preservatives, I think, in Capri Sun, or some.
Yeah, it might just be if it's 100% juice, then it is just it's juice, and what's keeping it is it's sealed.
Yeah.
like it's airtight, so theoretically stuff can't grow in it. But if it has a leak in it somewhere, you can check and make sure that it's all good. It's like when you open a can, like a canned thing, like say you're getting like a sauce or a salsa. It has the top, and it's like if this top is popped, don't eat this because it's been exposed to air, so bacteria can get in it.
But people have found Capri Sun packs, and it has red gunk and floaters. in
No,
there.
not the floaters.
Yeah. After I learned about that, respectfully, I have to decline.
respect the pouch.
I will respectfully decline this pouch. Thank you very much.
Yes. Does a kangaroo work at Total Pouch?
It's the mascot. They got
Okay.
Kangaroo Jack to sponsor it.
Celebrity sponsor.
Yes. Does Kangaroo Does Kangaroo Jack talk in your commercials?
Yeah, but in the store,
He does not.
no.
He's completely silent. Kangaroo Jack famously is wearing a sweatshirt that also has a pouch in it. So he is at a moment a marsupial with two pouches, which I think is interesting. I don't know if that was in the
Whoa.
thought process
I
of
bet
all-
they thought about that.
Whoa.
Well, I don't think they thought much about Kangaroo Jack. You guys know the story of Kangaroo Jack, right?
Oh.
It was
Of course.
it was originally supposed to be an R-rated comedy, kind of like gangster comedy kind of situation with swearing and sex and violence and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, this is going to be a disaster. So they just cut it down to be a PG-rated family movie.
Which we all know
They
and love
film
and
all
saw.
of the
as well.
R-rated bits.
Yes. And we all know, love, and saw, and it was one of the biggest declines from its opening night box off to later because it was advertised as a movie with a talking kangaroo, but that's only one scene where someone gets kicked in the head and it wraps in his dream, but the rest of the movie it's just a regular kangaroo,
Right.
kind of situation. So I'm hoping that as our mascot for Total Pouch, he talks in people's dreams, but not in the store.
Yes.
Yeah, in the commercials, we're like, you can fuck in here. You can curse. You can do whatever the hell you want. And then
This
you
is
get
an
there.
R-rated store.
Total pouch.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you get there and it's like a library, and they're like, "Please, can you whisper? You're disrespecting
It's
the
quieter. Stop swearing. You can swear, but not so loud.
Near the
Respect
pouches.
the pouch. Anyway, well, that was a good bit of banter. I approve. It wasn't planned. We'll move on from my regularly scheduled banter to the main section of the show, which is each week on I Choose You, we randomly select a Pokemon that we cook and eat, and we determine a recipe to cook and eat that Pokemon with. We share the recipe with one another, and it brings us together closer as friends, families, whatever relationship you have. I think I Choose You can improve it. And then we vote in a very democratic manner upon who the best recipe was bestowed, and then we celebrate. This week's Pokemon is Toxtricity, probably one of the more notable Pokemons from Gen 8. I would say it's a highlight, design and conceptually wise. I was the winner of last week's show, but I've already been rambling because I'm the host. So I'm going to say let's have Ian start us off this week.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You little...
I would. That's why I asked.
All right. Toxtricity. Punk rock.
Yeah.
What a punk.
What a punk.
Such a punk.
Yes.
So naturally, I looked up punk foods.
Famous punk food. Wait, did you look up
Yeah,
famous punk first?
Yes.
I did to find out who I was this week.
And you got one of the Ramones.
Literally,
I mean, that works.
I typed famous punk.
I mean, you might be one of the most famous for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was. I thought you were talking about the Friends character.
Joey.
Joey.
Ramone.
Isn't that his last name?
Last name.
No, Tribbiani.
Oh,
I think.
Tribbiani.
Oh,
Yes.
you're right. There you go.
Yeah.
I hate that
That's
I
also
know
Italian.
Hey,
I would imagine that the most punk food would be like a potato you found in the sewer kind of situation.
Pizza on the ground?
Yes.
Oh.
Ground pizza's good. Pizza Rat, he's the most punk rat of all
Splinter?
time. Yeah, Master Splinter.
The most punk rat of all time.
Yes.
I disagree with
Punk
that.
rock, forget that. I'm talking about punk rat. And then cuts to Master Splinter. Anyway, continue, Ian.
So I found this website called Punk Foodie, which the concept. Well, I'm just gonna read you some things from the website and let you tell me what you think of it.
Okay, the punk foodie themselves.
Yeah, let me tell you about the owner. Founder Sam Fleming is a native of Alabama, a successful China social media entrepreneur.
Interesting.
does
So is he
that
like a
mean?
dropship scammer?
What does that mean?
I don't know what China social media entrepreneur means. Like that's that's made up for sure. A world traveler
Okay.
and a lover of food.
All
So
right.
this guy does not do anything to make a living, for
Don't-
sure.
These don't sound like very punk things either. I have to say, being
No.
a China social media financer
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck does not sound punk.
This
If
sounds
you're
like a dating
financing
profile.
if you're financing something, then I don't think you are punk in and of yourself.
Absolutely.
And he probably wouldn't deny that. I think he supports punks financially.
Okay.
Because they can't support themselves.
Instead of a sugar daddy, he's a punk daddy.
Exactly.
Oh.
Upon moving to Atlanta a few years ago, he fell in love with the burgeoning underground dining scene filled with pop-up chefs and food trucks. Aspiring restaurateurs serving some of the most interesting, cutting-edge, and authentic and unique food in Atlanta. The whole thing reminded him of the punk rock scene of yore. Kind of like Three Chords and the Truth, but for food.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. Look, as much as I enjoy food items, I don't think it can tell me the truth.
Oh, can't it? Maybe the
I'm
truth
not gonna
is
eat
that
like
I'm not hungry anymore, Jeremy. Maybe that's the
or maybe
truth.
I'm really hungry right now, and this fucking taco looks really good.
I mean,
I'm
okay,
going to eat it, and I'm going to be like, ah, that was so good.
he had me until he was like, yeah, this reminds me of punk rock. Like, unless you're
Yore.
of yore.
Yeah. So what's it? Give us an example of some punk food, Ian.
I'm glad you asked, Jeremy. What is this punk food you see below? It's stuff like Szechuan succotash, jackfruit pastor Frito pies, and pimento kim cheese with spam jam and scallion salad on honey butter
Wow, those are
toast.
some fancy punks.
That does sound
Yes.
fancy as fuck.
It's what we call the anti-cuisine.
Oh, no.
A cuisine without defining or distinctive ingredients,
Shut
techniques,
up.
and dishes, and it is born out of the increasing infusion of the diverse cultures and experiences that live in our city.
God.
Okay, so what it is? So punk food is like, oh, what's in my fridge? I'll just mix that together.
I don't understand the a cuisine without defining or distinctive ingredients, but everything he listed is like very distinctive.
Very defined.
Yeah. See, I think, Jeremy, if I were to have to define what, like, food punk is, or like a punk cook or chef or something, it'd be someone who just takes a random amount of everyday, items and does it yourself, DIY, makes some fucking fabulous food. Like, I don't know, like soul food something. That sounds very like punk food to me, TBH. This sounds like what you're saying, Ian. Actually incredibly specific and very
Too
like,
thoughtful.
yeah, right, exactly.
I would consider punk food. A guy who is serving me like lunch isn't like wearing a leather jacket with a lot of like safety pins and has a mohawk and isn't like up yours, old man, as he was serving me like
Yeah.
my pizza. I don't think it's punk.
Right.
Like
If Blink 182 is not playing in the background of that food truck,
Right.
I'm not drinking.
I
I'm
mean,
not eating there.
it's even a little too mainstream, if we're being honest.
That's fair.
Well,
What this website does is it pulls from a continuous tracking of various social media platforms and a database of over 800 active underground chefs and 300 venues, allowing readers to know about emerging chefs before they make it to the big time.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
I mean, look, we can, and this happens to regular punks too. It's like you start off punk, but then you realize like I don't want to just play 3 chords. I want to put a like jazz solo in there, and then you're not punk anymore. You're post punk, and then that's when you start adding like pimento jam to your recipe.
Okay, so you would consider this more like post-punk cuisine.
That sounds right. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely more of the Talking Heads of cuisines than the Sex Pistols of cuisines.
Yeah, agreed.
So, the jackfruit pastor Frito pie seemed pretty fucking spot on.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Toxtricity, take the low-key form. Because I feel like the low-key form would be, like, vegetarian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
Okay,
sense.
it turns all of its bones into tofu.
Yeah, like when it's amped, meaty. Low-key,
Veggie baby.
When it's amped, it's throbbing, meaty Toxtricity, and when it's low key, it's flaccid, soft,
like a silken tofu.
Yes, like a silken tofu.
Or jackfruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Shred that shit. Do it up pastor.
Like a guitar?
Exactly like a guitar. Jeremy. I just hung up a fucking Clash poster in my classroom today.
Hell yeah, that's punk.
Yeah,
fine,
hell
baby.
yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah.
You got dried peppers, garlic, chipotle peppers and adobo, sugar, all the shit. Mix that up, make your sauce. Shred your jackfruit, Toxtricity, belly, shoulder. Marinate it. Cook it. Put it on a tortilla. Put some pineapple chunks on there.
Ooh.
A little cilantro. Maybe like a nice, some sort of like creamy sauce to kind of drizzle on the top, you know?
Nice, yeah.
And then you fucking take down the man.
Okay.
But you don't eat it.
Just like that.
Slap it in like some uptight asshole's face.
You all right. Before you fold the taco, it's just like flat in your hand, and then you slam it right into some old asshole.
Yeah.
Right in there. Right in the asshole.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
right.
Well, that's
Like we get Queen Elizabeth II. We bring her back to life. We slam this taco in her face, and it so shocks her that she dies again, and that makes it extra punk.
We just lost listenership, but yeah, that is what we do.
So you said it's a taco, but I thought it was a Frito pie.
Fuck, you're so right, because I'm looking at this al pastor recipe, and that's what it told me to do.
Oh.
You put it on the tortilla. Listen, you put it on the tortilla. You walk it over to the bag of Fritos. You slide it off the tortilla.
The tortilla is a plate, really.
Has the bag of Fritos now become a pouch for your taco?
At that point, it does become a pouch.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
taco
becomes full
pouch. You know how in Texas they call the Frito pie a walking taco? I think we can get them to evolve it into the pouch taco as
Why not just a Frito pouch?
Yeah,
Frito pouch works, honestly.
That's true. It's not
Yeah.
a pie.
yeah, a pouchy.
So, okay, I get that now. Okay, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't clear. The tortilla is just a medium by which to get it from through one prep table to another.
The punks don't use plates.
Yeah, that's so true.
All right. Well, I don't know this guy. He seems like he's doing something fun for the chefs of Atlanta, Georgia. So maybe that's nice, but I don't know if it's punk.
Yeah, it
but
just seems a little bit weird to call it punk, quote unquote.
What if we just called it like, this is cool? I don't know. I think that would.
Let's call it something else. Let's call it community. Okay.
Okay.
They have an app.
Shit.
That's not.
Do you
punk.
think punks would have apps?
No, they barely have phones.
That's true.
Ben, what's your recipe this week?
Okay. My recipe this week is going to lean into the toxic part of Toxtricity. And that's because immediately the first thing that I thought of when this was chosen was the toxic waste candy that maybe someone else chose for their recipe too.
You're lucky I went toxic waste adjacent.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this might surprise well, actually, it looks like this company did make it out pretty far. It's sold in United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, and South Africa. And it is in fact a drum, like a plastic like drum of waste that looks like like some sort of cartoonish Simpsons like goo.
It's the ooze that the Ninja Turtles got dumped in and turned into Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. And inside that plastic drum of toxic waste is hard candy that is like basically like a Warheads or like one of those other really sour candies. And so I am going to make some Toxtricity waste candy. And I'm going to do something a little... so it's going to involve the eating and consumption of the Pokemon as part of the candy, but it's also going to include a little DIY element to it to keep it punk, as it were. So you're going to you're going to need to arrange a get your little barrel, and in this case we'll be like mass producing them, so which isn't very punk of us, but just like I'm sure this one, the guy who runs the blog would agree, like supply versus demand is still important, even to a punk. And so basically you're gonna have all these empty little drums, and you're gonna fill them with candies, and to make the candies you're going to pluck off the strings of your Toxtricity, that like the like weird organs on its body that it like picks to play the strings, like sound like a guitar or whatever. You're gonna snip off all of those little guys, you're gonna chop them into bits, and I presume that you can just basically like dehydrate and dry them out completely until they are just like hard candy, like little bits of hard candy. Wrap them up, put them in your little drums, and then you're going to also include 4 little rubber bands in those drums, so that when you
can make like a milk carton guitar with your
oh yeah. So then hypothetically our product goes to market, right? People buy people buy it off of shelves, exchange goods for commodities and whatnot, and then like the perfect customer receives their Toxtricity waste candy. They're like, a little kid who's like, oh boy, like this thing is gonna make my head explode because of how sour it is. Shares it with the friends. They all eat their little Toxtricity waste. It's ridiculously sour because Toxtricity is poison as well as electric type, so the sourness is actually like, it really packs a punch. And then inside the little barrel, there's all those little rubber bands. You can take out the rubber bands and put them all across the drum. Start to use it as a little mini guitar for your own. You can start a band. Hey,
well, punk band.
A rubber band.
So yeah, that's my recipe. I also found some interesting things about the toxic waste candy company that I can share. But I want to open this up to the questions first.
So you said it's very sour. Like, does it come with like a warning? Like, if you eat too much of it, you'll pucker your face in, your skin will rip off, like it's in like Poltergeist or something. Like, how sour are we talking here?
So, I did find out via a Reddit user, in classic fashion, when I was trying to Google how to make toxic waste candy, and I realized that as I was Googling it, I was like, wow, this question is vastly different if I don't include candy at the end of the sentence.
How to make toxic waste.
Well, I will say this. I think making toxic waste is really easy. You just like throw a bunch, like you like bleed on something and you throw a bunch of shit you find in like an old computer into a can, and you all mix it together and like bury it in your yard, and boom, there you go, toxic waste.
Right. clearly there's no shortage of ways to create toxic
Yes.
waste. That is kind of the problem. But there is a shortage of ways to make toxic waste candy. That is under lock and key. However, a Reddit user did say and jumped in, was like, someone was asking why sour candy is so sour, and like specifically why it makes you cry sometimes when it's so sour. And the Reddit user was like, neuroscientist here, blah blah blah, and explained a bunch of fucking nerd stuff. But basically, the thing that they explained was that sour candies use citric acid, but they also use malic acid for like warheads and for toxic waste especially. And that those are the ones that it causes such a it causes such a reaction on your taste buds that it actually affects nerves like behind your eyes, and it creates physical pain that your tears respond to, and that's why you sometimes cry.
We love it.
Yeah.
I knew that all sour things are acid on some level. Like it's just it is acidic, and that makes it sour, and it has to be acid that you can consume, and not like get back to the actual toxic waste, like I'm gonna suck on a battery kind of situation.
Yeah.
Not the type of acid that would dissolve your body parts. But
malic acid actually physically hurts the inside of your head.
Wow.
So think about that. But there was apparently, and this is according to the Wikipedia page, a ad campaign for toxic waste where the manufacturers encouraged buyers to compete against their friends by each eating them at the same time and seeing how long they could keep it in their mouths before it hurt them, obviously. And
Oh man.
there is a caution label on the drum stating that sensitive individuals should not consume the product.
Yeah, no snowflakes here.
Sensitive individual.
You can't have the woke mob eating our candy.
Have you guys had toxic waste before?
I had like a long time ago. I didn't realize it was still being made.
I've seen it. I had warheads. I don't think I ever had the toxic waste candy.
My kids would bring it to school, and they'd be like, "You got to try this," and I'd be like, "This ain't no thing, bitch.
Yeah,
I've run this city.
You think we didn't do this in school? You don't think I was young once?
I was born in the toxic waste.
Yes, I'm a Ninja Turtle.
You literally adopted it. It's pretty good.
Man, it is pretty good.
Does it taste like anything, or is it just really sour?
You're asking me?
Or just, generally speaking?
Okay, well, as someone who actually hasn't tried it recently, I'm going to say that I actually don't know what the accurate flavor profile is. But I will say my Toxtricity, I almost said nuclear waste. Toxtricity waste, it's not nuclear, is delicious. Okay. It's delicious. All you need to know is that there's a grape lemon one, and then there's a grape blueberry one. For the two different forms, and they're both really, really good.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, they've got a couple of different flavors. There's like grape and orange and like a sour apple kind of classic deal. And then they also have the toxic waste, like slime liquors is what they call them. They come in like other weird flavors. Yeah.
So there's a portion of the Wikipedia page called recalls, which I immediately thought was interesting. And
every time a Wikipedia page for a product has a section called recalls, it's a good product.
Oh yeah. And actually, it's funny that you bring up the slime liquor, Evan, because in 2023, the slime liquor was recalled because it contained a rolling ball that can detach and choke people.
Oh yeah.
So that was no longer a good one. There's only two other entries here on the recall section of Wikipedia's their Wikipedia page, and they both happened in 2011, which just shows that they were really going through it that year. There were multiple products, bubblegum and a chew bar, that were recalled because of high lead contamination. And I think that's really funny that the toxic waste candy company literally had like contaminated poison inside of it.
I want to know, how are you getting lead in your food? Like, what are you doing?
You had some lead pipes or whatever.
Yeah, the bubble gum pipes.
I don't know exactly how, but it's
that's how Rome fell.
I don't know exactly how that happened, but it was
yes.
It's in Pakistan
Please,
that it happened.
Oh, that was where the recall was.
Yeah.
That was where the candy was being produced and was having high lead contamination. So I imagine probably like a lot of things, no regulation or very little regulation in safety.
I also imagine like the answer is usually paint. Like there was lead paint in this building and it fell in our thing, and that's it. So classic kind of situation. Evan, I've heard you have a very similar recipe, or at least you implied you did.
Kinda, yeah. I'm glad I pivoted away from toxic waste, but shout out because that was a good one. I'm gonna take you down a little nostalgia trip. Let me know if you've heard this one or tried it before. But I'm going kind of punk by way of like the emo culture a little bit. So like less Nirvana, more My Chem, I guess. But so as a kid, everyone loved candy bracelets. Everyone loved them. They were either they had a flavor, or maybe they were a little sour, or they were just chalky, but like everyone fucking had candy bracelets. And one of the things to kind of augment your candy bracelet was a little candy called Sour Drops. I don't know if anyone's had those before. It was a very like early 2000s thing. I don't know if they still make them anymore, but it had like kind of the Warheads like pucker guy on it, but his tongue is sticking out because it like would dye your tongue crazy colors also.
Yeah.
Oh, so this isn't Juicy Drop, which was its own thing.
Not quite. It's not a Juicy Drop pop, but
similar.
Oh, that's what I'm
Juicy
thinking
Drop.
about.
Yes. The Sour Drops are kind of like a Warhead spin-off, where it's like liquefied Warheads.
Oh,
exactly. So these are just basically like sour liquid of various flavors that you would drop on your candy and kind of elevate that experience. So what I'm kind of supposing here is we take our Toxtricity and boil it down into a nice toxic sour goo, essentially, and of course this one would be a lemon grape flavor. I think would be kind of nice.
Nice.
And you just kind of drop that on your various star-shaped candy bracelets, and you're ready to listen to some My Chem and just like hate your parents or whatever it is you want to do.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Ian.
I know you're going for more of an emo theme, but would you offer a punk line that's like an eyebrow piercing candy, or like a nose ring, or like a gauge candy?
I like
gauge?
that idea, but so I appreciate it, but the eating act of like getting the candy off of the ring is a little too intimate. Maybe, I don't know.
A Prince Albert, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh man, and if you're really fortunate, like Marilyn Manson, you could just detach your rib or whatever and get it yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it says on the detach your rib and get it yourself.
So I think Evan, the question is as you says it can stain your tongue. Do those colors glow?
Ooh, absolutely. Yeah, everyone is at a concert and they're all taking their sour drops or whatever. The lights go down and the black lights come up and everyone's like, blah. Yeah, that's like the punk equivalent of like people using their phone flashlights at a Coldplay concert.
Okay, well, so I guess I'm getting more like scene kid than like punk from this.
Yeah, it's punk adjacent. Punk inspired, probably.
But Ben, would you say the scene is not just an evolution of the punk aesthetic?
Yeah, I know. I think they're definitely like cousins. I'm not saying they're you're off base. I'm just trying to think of like the cultural reference, right? Like trace that.
Totally. And I think for me, I couldn't like punks don't fuck with candy in my mind. So I was like, what's the next kind of adjacent thing? Well, they don't fuck with sour candy. They'll have like a whatever kind of basic thing, whatever. I don't know. They don't go with the sour experimentation stuff.
All I'm saying is you'll never see Joey Ramone eat a Snickers bar. That's all I'm saying.
You're probably right.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about my recipe this week. I've also leaned into the sour candy kind of genre, but I went for a different route. What do you think about, obviously, punk rock? I was thinking, rock and roll kind of element. How can I incorporate this into my sour candy as, an aesthetic? And it's kind of done in the Toxtricity, and it's not punk rock specifically related, but it is very rock and roll related, and that is some tongue waggling, as Evan mentioned. Yes,
Is that what I mentioned?
You mentioned that you put the drops on your tongues and you wave them around at a concert.
Did I mention tongue waggling?
in fewer words, or more words.
So I'm gonna bring up like you're playing rock and roll. You got your tongue out. It's kind of like the logo for the Rolling Stones kind of situation, or Gene Simmons from Kiss kind of situation. He has a very long tongue, and we're gonna make sour candy gummy tape that's shaped like a tongue.
Yeah,
and it comes in like this like a Ben. You're shaking your head.
Just finish.
I'm gonna let you in on a secret.
Do it.
I'm gonna let you in on a little fucking secret. Is that I googled rock and roll candy just to see what would come up because I would be slightly interested. Firstly, found a candy company called Rock and Roll Candy in Pennsylvania.
Rock on.
That was fun. Secondly, this item that came up is called Rip Rolls, which are basically like candy gummy strips that have like they come in like a package and they're 40 feet long. You know what I'm saying?
Are they never going to give you up?
They're never gonna let you down.
God damn it! That was the best way to address that.
No, you see, the issue is that I think these got brought up in the Google search because the word "roll" is in it, and that was cottoning to that.
Okay.
But it gave me the idea of let's do kind of like a Gene Simmons tongue or a Toxtricity tongue. Its tongue's waggling as it's shredding its guitar kind of situation, kind of thing. Or it could play a guitar solo with its tongue like Jimi Hendrix. I sense there's consternation here, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to approach the Toxtricity. We're going to rip out its bibbity boops. I think it's kind of like its mohawk situation. Probably, it seems like in the amped version, it's the source of its power. So it might be the source of its sour for our construction of our recipe this week.
Man.
So we're gonna do is we're gonna concentrate that down until it's a nice acidic concentrate. And as everyone has talked about, we're gonna make multiple flavors of rolls that we can make our rock and tongue rolls out of this week. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a red tongue, classic. That's the color of human tongues as a normal thing. And that's going to be like kind of like a sour cherry flavor. We're going to do a purple one that is for grape. And then we'll do a yellow one that is citrus, lemon, lime as its main components. So that's my recipe. When you're up on stage, you pop one of these in your mouth, and then you open your mouth, and then you have a really long tongue, and it's sour, and you can eat it while you're playing your guitar solo. That's my recipe this week.
So this is, I'm imagining this is kind of like a cross between Wax Lips and Fruit by the Foot.
Yeah, 100%. You've fucking nailed it. But what's great about it is that, like, you know how in Wax Lips you put it in and it's just like whatever, it's wax, right?
Yeah.
These ones you like bite onto it and you open your mouth and like a long tongue rolls out, kind of situation. So like the tongue of an amphibian, of which Toxtricity is.
I love it.
I just really don't know how much candy you'll sell with the tongue on tongue action. Like that's
I beg to differ.
Yes, Ben, you just sold fucking 1 million more units. That's what I'm saying.
A little tongue in cheek.
Oh
yes, the whole yeah.
Well,
That's
I
the
guess,
version we sell to comedians, the tongue in cheek.
How do you eat it? Because like I get spit going blah, but how do you eat it?
Yeah, and then you just, and you bring it back into your mouth, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
With your regular tongue.
I see. It's a lot of work.
Is it? Sorry if I missed this. Is the end of it? So it's 40 feet.
Yeah.
And then the end of it, is it like a sleeve that you stick your tongue in, or you just like stick the whole thing in your mouth and hold on for
I think what it is works is I think instead of 40 feet, we should take it back to a yard, be a little more reasonable.
Okay.
And it kind of has like at the end, it's a little bit like it has like it goes into your mouth a little bit, and you can pull it. You can like grab it from the end and pull it into your regular mouth.
It's more like like when a magician
like a
has
tongue.
the scarf like out of the mouth
Yes.
trick. So
Like
you
in
pop it there.
reverse. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going inward.
Okay.
Yes, and you can, and maybe there's like a switch that you can use with your regular tongue, and it pushes it out, so you're just like blah, and then
A
you can
switch?
eat it back into your mouth.
Mechanized
Kidding?
candy.
Yes. The prestige.
What if those party favors where you like blow on it and then it like unrolls?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. of
Maybe
course.
what if,
If
yeah, it's air powered. Maybe.
so you can just blow it, and perhaps it's a pouch that that you fill with your own air, and it like looks and it has the texture kind of the tongue.
Now it's
as well as it's got those like
It's just a lung now.
a tongue lung.
I mean, the lungs are really the pouches of our body.
That's true.
shit.
That's so
That's
true.
true.
I mean, I guess other organs are also pouches, but the lungs feel right.
Yeah.
That feels like that. You have to respect those.
If I had to pick an organ to fill with Capri Sun,
It'd be your lungs.
yeah.
It would not be my stomach. It would be my lungs.
So Jeremy, I'm at a punk show, and I'm enjoying my punk tongue candy, and I go blah, and 40 feet of it goes across the crowd to someone else that goes blah at the same time, and we cross tongues. This is
Then you're
an infused flavor. This is like a remix
Yeah.
or whatever the hell they call those
yes,
candies.
100%. And you're a soulmate now. Like you have to mosh together
Yes.
after your tongues intertwine. And
tongues are
I think this would be a great social kind of like bringing people together experience as well, which is also very punk because it's all about
Right.
community. And these tongues are all about community.
I mean,
So, Lady and the Tramp enjoying their punk rock dinner. One launches its tongue to the other, and then they like meet in the middle.
And then they
down my
just,
throat.
and that's 40 feet of tongue there. So, it's all the way. It goes all the way down.
40 feet of tongue would be a good punk album.
Yeah, 40 feet of tongue. I mean, I would even say 40 feet of tongue is my punk rock band.
that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Toxtricity, our debut album. All right. Let's review our recipes this week. From Ian, we have... Well, it was a Frito pie. I was trying to make sure I got this right.
Gotta respect the
jackfruit
pouch.
Al pastor. Al pouch store.
Damn it.
For that, Ben has produced a Toxtricity toxic waste with some rubber bands. Evan, has Toxtricity sour drops, and I have my Toxtricity sour tongue. Please, everyone vote, and Ben will tell us who the winner mon is.
Whoa. Okay. The vote is unanimous, and the vote is for me. With 3 votes, I voted for Ian.
Nice.
I thought you had the most
The one
unique
real like food
recipe,
item.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very punk of you guys to all do the same thing.
Yeah. It's not very nonconformist of this episode to all unanimously vote
Yeah.
for the same person.
Anonymously.
But here's not be I the first to point out the problems in punk as a social structure, but by forming a community, you're obviously ascribing some sort of standards that you're following, and thus inherently undermining the concept of being punk.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. How's that for some fucking punk?
But there's beauty in it.
Fuck you, Jeremy.
Listen, Jeremy, we're just 3 chords and the truth of
Yes.
food.
Which one's the truth?
Which one of us? The truth. And who are the 3 chords?
It's like a snap, crackle, pop.
Okay.
And then one's the truth.
And what are those 3 chords?
I would say, Ian, you're the 1 chord.
Okay.
Evan, you're the 5 chord because you're so tall.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'll be the 4 chord, and Ben will be the truth.
Huzzah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to everyone's favorite section of the show, Whalelord's Mail Horde, where we read your recipes. Send in to ichoosepod@gmail.com. That's ICHEWSPOD@gmail.com. Let us start with Mike's. Evan, please read us Mike's email.
Yes, Mike writes a novel and says, "Hello again, boys. I've been professing my love for the Galar region and its Pokedex all of Season 8, and I've been waiting for this day to come.
Hell yeah.
Those of you who know me may already know that my favoriteest Pokemon of all 1,000+ Mon is Toxtricity.
Nice.
What's not to love about Toxtricity? It's a humanoid salamander with a mohawk that can play either guitar or bass by thumping its chest. Electric and poison type is pretty cool, albeit not great competently. Which version do you boys like better? I'm the low key one.
Well, Ian plays the bass, so that
And
one.
guitar. So, well,
So also that one.
I gotta go low key.
low key.
Mike's a low-key guy himself, but they never considered running both on my team. They have considered running both on their team and build one to lean more into the poison type and one more on the electric type side. Low-key Toxtricity looks like a wild berry Pop-Tart, while amped up looks like a fan of the LA Lakers.
True.
So let's get into chef mode. A Google-roo of salamander recipes is as fruitful as ever. I figured since we got 2 forms to play with that my recipe needs to have several things inclusive, such as sweet and sour. Much like how you can obtain sweet Italian sausage or spicy Italian sausage, we're going to use a low-key form Toxtricity for our sour and an amped-up form to make our sweet. We're going to pick choice cuts of Toxtricity meat and make some kebabs. Thanks, Ed, for helping me crowdsource ideas. Firstly, we're going to juice ? Our beloved Toxtricities. We're going to put the poison, like punk, into some kitchen device that has separates. That separates. Wow, jeez, can't read. That separates the part that kills you and leaves the sweetness. We're also going to extract some of the sour juices that naturally accumulate in electric types. We're going to keep those juices separate and mix them both with a little oil, garlic, onion, salt, and pepper. We're going to take those choice cuts of Toxie meat, cut them into cubes, and marinate them for 24 hours, but the longer the better. We want the grill to be hot, hot, hot. So skewer the meat, liberally applying marinade to the skewers on the grill, being sure not to mix the sweets and the sours just yet for safety purposes. I'm not going to say it would explode, but I'm not taking any chances. Next, you're going to take some pita bread, and now we can mix and match our sweet meats and sour meats together and enjoy. Sidebar, Gym Leader Roxy from the Unova region is a poison-type leader who plays bass, is a punk, and has the same color scheme as the shiny low-key Toxtricity. Not saying I'm in love, but I've booked our wedding at the Desert Resort in Unova. You're all invited, winky face emoji. Anyway, Toxtricity number 1. I don't care that my baby is 4 times weak to ground type moves. Number 1 with a bullet. Until next time, Mike.
Yeah. Look, good design will outweigh the negatives of any Pokemon, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, it's true.
Design above all else.
All right. Yes. Evan, I just said your name, and it's late at night. It's Monday.
I've read too
Ian,
many emails.
Yes. Ian, can you read this email from Charlie?
Charlie writes, "Hello, Icy Crew. This week we're preparing Toxtricity, a Pokemon that does not immediately scream food at me. So this will be a tough one to prepare. I was thinking about how to approach this by combining electricity and poison. And then I thought of a perfect item. Something that shares a punk aesthetic with Toxtricity. Something that feels like you're drinking poison and pure electricity at the same time. Today, we're going to be preparing a homemade Pocket Monster energy drink.
Oh.
With your own Four Loko.
Good.
Using a recipe from none other than mocktail.net,
Hell yeah.
we're going to gather a sliced applin apple, raspberries, and comb bee honey. Then we're going to get some of the toxic sweat that Toxtricity is known to perspire and combine it with some matcha from Sinistra, draining your life force from two things at once. What a deal. Combining all these ingredients in a blender, then finally finish this drink off with some pure LaCroix. Pure LaCloy. Cloy is in cloister, naturally.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's fucking good.
Why haven't we thought of that
I don't
before?
know. Get Charlie on the
We've
show.
been doing this show for over fucking 5
LaCroix.
years, and we can't think of Le Cloister.
That was under our noses the whole time.
Yeah.
To give it that fizziness everyone loves with their heart palpitations. Once all this has been completed, congratulations. You've created your very own Pocket Monster energy drink. All that's left to do is kick back and enjoy this delicious drink. That's probably your last, considering you're drinking poison and cursed tea. Cheers.
Also,
That's an
if I
interesting-
would relax. I'd probably do that and
I was-
I don't know, drive somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what circumstances I could foresee myself pounding a Monster energy drink, but I will not be enjoying
Yeah.
myself. That's for
You
sure.
won't be kicking back.
No.
Yeah. Do you imagine that someone like a scene kid in like the mid 2000s would drink a Monster energy drink and then enjoy a concert?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Absolutely. With their bangs all the way fucking across their face like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they say RAR XD or
And
whatever.
they have the like I love boobies bracelet.
Yes.
Damn, where did all those go?
That's a good question. Where did they
The
go?
landfill.
You know,
I hope they're buried in a giant landfill like the Atari ET cartridges that were in Roswell.
Wouldn't you know? Zoomies still sells them.
Oh.
I have not seen
It's always the mid 2000s and Zoomies.
I think I've seen one kid wear it in my whole career.
Wow.
But
Wow.
the shirt I did see the other day said, this was my only shirt that wasn't covered in cum. And they wore that to school. So I feel like the I Heart Boobies is not racy enough for these kids.
Yeah, I think we've reached critical mass on that point. There's no going back to I love boobies bracelets being like a edgy like teen fucking like ugh, there's no going back. God damn it, that's terrible. I can't believe you told me that. Like
I feel gross.
that's
just
Ian
knowing it.
saw it.
That's what I get. That's when I go to work. That's what I see, and I choose to not address it. I just decide I don't know how to read during that time.
Yep. Holy shit. Whew.
Yeah,
Man.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you know what is fortunate? Hearing about where you live on the internet. In the
that's
plug
also not
section.
fortunate. I don't want to think about that.
So tell us where we can find you or your work online. Let's start with Ben.
You can find me on Twitter or on Instagram at Ben C. Montoya. You can find me on Tumblr at thefearandnow.tumblr.com. And you should listen to Hang Up if you haven't already, because it's a good old fun time, and that I work on it. So you can support me by listening to that.
All right, Ian.
Follow me at Musician Davis on Instagram. I play bass, and that's all I have to say.
Excellent. Evan.
You can follow along on Instagram as I make a movie at _Mesa Studio _ that's MESA Studio.
Excellent. And you can follow me on Twitter at VelocityPrime1, on Blue Sky at VelocityPrime1, and on Tumblr at VelocityPrime1. You can check out my writing at the-avocado.org, Jeremy Zielik. That's the-avocado.org, Jeremy Zielik. And that's been the show for tonight. Thank you for listening. You can find us on your favorite podcasting apps, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, or Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, check out our social media pages. I Choose Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Last but not... no, there's another thing, which is our Discord. Join our Discord. You can hang out with fellow Choosies, submit recipes, participate in community events. Links are available in the episode description. Jump on over and have a great time. Last but not least, head on over to our official website, ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and merch store for you to enjoy and peruse. Head on over to ichooseyou.menu. And that wraps it up for the show. This has been another excellent episode of I Choose You. I've been your host and Alton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zeal.
Been your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
Been your Joey Ramone, Ian Davis.
And your Capri Sun, Evan Aubrey.
The Father, the Capri Sun,
The Holy Spirit.
and the Holy Spirit. Yes. And
Amen.
to all the Choosies out there in Radioland, in a while, Totodile.
I wanna be the greatest chef, like no one ever was. To cook them is my real test, to taste them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the flavor that's inside. I choose you, gotta cook 'em
It's
all.
you and me.
Ben and Jeremy, I choose you. Oh, we're your best friends. In this world we must digest. I choose you, gotta cook 'em all. Our appetite will pull us through. You roast me and I'll roast you. I choose you, gotta cook 'em all. Gotta cook 'em all. I choose you.